Hey guys, it's Alisha. Welcome back to my channel. Woo. She's uploading kind of more regularly than before, but still not as regularly as she should. But you know what? At least it's happening. I have such a bad habit of not looking into the lens and looking at here or here or here, literally anywhere but the lens. It's because I have an issue with eye contact. So this is basically eye contact, yeah. And I'm struggling. Anyways, moving on.
My first boss taught me lessons I ain't even know. Crazy how my first loss brought me blessings I ain't even know. Yeah, let my heart broken, I ain't even showing. Strong man, but you know I'm built off emotion. Daily what I'm building, only thing that's killing. Got me like a villain, but I really love this feeling. I'm the first say I'm changing, too much of my real view, so I'm really changing. My lane switched up, they gon' really miss us. There's a bigger picture, I'm just in the system saying it. Too much on my mind, you should've popped another cent. Laid a promise to my mama, so you know I can't. Searching for somebody.
So yeah, today I just want to talk about okay, so it's kind of gonna be, you know, like obviously I'm Muslim, so it's kind of gonna be centered around faith and having faith. So I feel like sometimes when I lose faith, the thing that helps me the most in terms of, you know, like when you feel like your life is just falling apart, or you have no direction in your life, or you don't know what you're going to do next, you don't know what the next step is, or you're just feeling a little bit lost, or you feel like you're going through the motions of everyday life and you're not really getting anything out of it, then there's one thing that I always try and do is keep my faith in Allah, and I keep my faith in the fact that Allah is the best of planners, and that qadr of Allah. So what does qadr mean? What does qadr mean? Qadr of Allah is basically like Allah's plan, essentially God's plan basically. I have come to realize that I need to have faith, and you need to have faith in the way that things work, the way that the universe runs, the way that God's plan is occurring. You have to have faith. And there's this quote in the Quran which basically goes, you may like a thing and it is bad for you, and you may dislike a thing which is good for you, and Allah knows what is best. I think that's, obviously I'm paraphrasing it because but yeah, that's the quote. And honestly, I like, first and foremost, this advice is for myself, and like a reminder for myself that I need to learn to apply that in my everyday life. So when things don't go my way, whether that's like exams or relationships, in terms of friendships especially, oh my god, friendships, when things don't go my way, I just need to learn to let things go. That is one of the worst, that's the thing I'm absolutely horrible at. Like, I just can't do it. I just hate letting things go. I'm not letting things go, but letting people go. I have this issue where if we've been friends, then I want to keep that connection, and sometimes that's just not what life is about. Sometimes you just gotta let things go, you gotta let people go, and you just gotta let things run according to God's plan, because you might plan and it might all fail, and you know what, at the end of the day, there's probably God trying to get you to submit to His will, to submit to knowing that God is planning for you, and you don't have to plan everything in your life. Like, things can just happen. This leads on to the next part, which basically is about like relationships, and how people treat you and how you treat them, and how sometimes you can put all your energy into a relationship or a friendship or like a familiar relationship, and it can just never go your way. Or you can put all your energy into it and you never get anything back, and you're always putting things in, and you're always like, you know what, let me give them another chance, you know what, maybe they're busy, or you keep making excuses for them when they're not even making excuses for themselves. I'm not saying, like, obviously if your friend, you know that they have issues in terms of they're struggling with their mental health, or they're struggling with other issues like family issues or stuff like that in their personal life, then that's a different thing. But like, if you're constantly giving to someone and you're never receiving, then you can lose that connection, and that's the hardest thing in the world, especially if they're a really good friend or a really close friend or a really old friend. Then it's the hardest thing in the world. But imagine you're a glass, you know, like the whole glass of water analogy. You're the glass of water and you keep pouring into their glass, yeah, and they're drinking from that glass, yeah, they're staying full, their glass is full, but you're filling up their glass. And obviously we have like multiple relationships, so you got your parents, you've got your siblings, you've got your cousins, your extended family members, you've got your friends, you've got maybe your spouse or whatever, and you're constantly filling everybody else's glass, and some of them are giving back to you, but this one glass is just staying there and they just full, and you keep pouring into them, but you're not refilling your own glass. You have to refill your own glass. Like, you have to look after yourself before you constantly go after people and be like, oh, are you? And that's something I really struggle with as well. I love helping people, I love being there for people, but sometimes I have to realize that you can't be there for everyone, and sometimes people want you to be there for them and don't want to be there for you, and it doesn't work like that. Like, you can't constantly be putting energy into something that you're not getting anything back. Like, it works two ways. And yeah, at the end of the day, you're not losing anything. And I know it feels like you're losing this great friendship, or you think about all the good memories and stuff and you're like, shit, I'm gonna lose that, or I'm gonna lose this connection, this connection that I have with this person that I don't have with anybody else, you know, like I feel it in my soul and blah blah blah. You connect on things that you have never connected with anybody else before. Like, if you never get anything back from them, then you're not getting anything from the situation. So if you remove yourself from that situation, they're losing you because you're the one giving your energy. Like, honestly, don't. It's hard because obviously people have their own lives and people get busy and people have other issues and stuff like that. So obviously you have to take all of those things into account first. You don't just go off cutting people just like this, like, oh, you didn't text me back, I'm gonna cut you off, you know. Like, you have to realize that if you're doing XYZ and they're not even doing X, they're not even doing one thing for you, then why are you still there? Like, there's no point being there, there's no point. And that's where Qadar Allah comes in as well, and believing in God's plan and having faith in Him, because you can't just chase people and you can't just chase things that aren't meant for you. We go around, sometimes some of us, we're built in ways where we like validation, we like being affirmed, we like having affirmation, we like having reassurance, and if we never get that, then, and we're constantly giving the other person what they need. Imagine you're giving someone what they need and they're not giving you what you need. You have to be able to speak the same language in order to understand each other. But if they're speaking French and you're speaking Spanish, then now what? Like, at the end of the day, I saw this quote and I keep saying it, but you know what, I'm gonna say it again. But I saw this quote on Instagram and I don't know who posted it, but it said, you only have to be yourself for something that's meant for you. So if something is meant for you, all you have to do is be you. Like, you don't have to go the extra 10 miles. If you're giving in the normal amount, like you're being a good friend to someone, and they're either not appreciating it or they're not giving the same back to you, then if you let them go, then if that person cares, if that person is meant to be in your life, God will make sure that person realizes and finds their way back to you. Because otherwise, they're not meant to. You're just forcing someone to be in your life who's not meant to be there. And I have a really good example of this. I remember I was going through a really rough time last year. Around this time, well, from like the start, from like January 2018 to about even July and onwards, I was just going through, like, that was like my absolute, like, I'd hit rock bottom basically, and I wasn't talking to anybody and nobody was talking to me. The only people who were talking to me were the people who either knew what was going on or made an effort to reach out. And I'd tried to reach out to this friend and we tried to like make plans, and every time something would come up in their life and they would have to cancel on me. And you know what, I was understanding, so I was like, you know what, fair enough, rain check. So I'd plan another day and then it would also get cancelled, and then I was just like, am I a mug? Am I actually a mug? Like, I asked myself this question many times in my life. Like, I was just like, I'm chasing this person, I'm asking them, I'm making plans, and they just keep cancelling on me. What's the point? Like, why do I keep making plans with them? Like, let me just drop them. And also, imagine I was in a situation where I barely had enough energy for myself. Like, I had really to look after myself because I was going through a shitty time. I was struggling really hard. So at that time, if I wasn't reaching out to you, it was because of that. And so I was like, you know what, I don't need any more stress in my life, so let me not keep chasing someone who clearly doesn't want to have me in their life. So I stopped chasing them. And then the funny thing is that I think I bumped into a mutual friend and they noticed that something was off with me. So they told the other friend, and then she basically was like, oh my god, she was like, let's meet up, blah blah blah. And then we met up and we talked, and like, that was in July, I think. When I came back to uni, we just like met up like this, and we've been meeting up, except for last week and this week. We've met up almost every week, and we chill, we go to the library, we have a laugh, we talk about shit. And yeah, like, it really just shows. And you know what, I went through this period of my life where I was just like, I had zero faith. So I tried to build my faith in ways that I could. So I used to pray, and whenever I made dua, whenever I prayed to Allah, I would say, please remove anyone from my life who's not meant to be in my life. Please remove anyone from my life who's going to take me further away from you, who's not meant to be in my life, who's not good for me, etc, etc. You know, like, I used to pray like that. And then people just started dropping from my life, and they were like people who are really close to my heart, like long time friends, or like really close friends. And they just like showed their character and literally disappeared from my life. And it was a really hard time, because obviously when people are like dropping from your life, you're like, crap, is there something wrong with me? Because you're the common denominator. So the first thing you do, especially if you're self-critical, you look at yourself and you're like, is it me? Like, is there something wrong with my character? But you also have to have faith in Allah, and you need to learn. If you're constantly building yourself, if you're constantly trying to improve yourself, you need to learn to stop doubting yourself so much. That's something I struggle with a lot, self-doubt. When you ask for a sign and you get it, then it really helps you. I do things like, obviously, like pray istikhara for like decisions, or like people in your life, whether you should be friends with them or whether you should see them or whatever. And things like that. Like, I feel like that kind of stuff strengthens my faith a lot more than if I'm just doing like my 5 prayers and if I'm reading Quran. I mean, obviously those help, but I feel like sometimes I need to connect with Allah in a way that's not like, that's just me and him, that's just me. And I feel like dua is so important. And praying, just sit down, whether you're Muslim or Christian or Hindu or Sikh or whatever, you just sit down and you just have a conversation with God, and you're like, give me a sign about something, or you ask him about something, and then he shows you, and then it just kind of affirms your faith in him. I don't know, like, let me know what you guys do to like strengthen your faith and stuff, because this can definitely be something we can all share. But yeah, the takeaway point from this whole video is to trust in God's plan, trust in Qadr of Allah, and submit to his will. Whatever's going to happen has already been written. Like, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a little bit different. I hope you guys could take something away from the video. Yeah, if you enjoyed it, let me know, give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below, and obviously share with your friends and family. And I guess I'll catch you next time. Bye.